Hello everybody. Well, finally got some rain here, and it's good to know. But I just had an interesting thing happen that made me remember something I had read in a very obscure book several years ago. I was walking across the street up there, and an old woman, who actually is the grandmother of Emily's friend, was acting as the crossing guard. And I saw her, and she didn't see me though. I came walking up to her, and I kind of startled her by saying, "Ohayou gozaimasu." And she turned quickly and gave me the most stereotypical old woman "Ohayou gozaimasu," ever. "Oh, ohayou gozaimasu." It's this with this accent and this tones and this low bow, and I mean, she really looked the part of an old woman. And what the memory that I want to share with you now was something that I read from a book several years back. I got it at the prefectural library here in Japan. It was an old book then, and it's a book that was an archaeological study, the conclusions of an archaeological study done jointly by Japan, the Japanese government, as well as several other nations, including the United States and France. It was a real big joint international thing, and I can't remember the dates of the study. I think it might have been prior to the war. But in any case, and I'm terrible at these things, and I think it was called Japan Village or something like that. I should go dig it up. I know where it is. Anyway, the study went to a farming village by the Japan Inland Sea, and they stayed there for like 2 years, I think, and they studied the people in the village, and they wanted to learn all about the anthropological. It was an anthropological study. I misspoke earlier when I said an archaeological study. It was really an anthropological study, studying the people. And they wanted to learn all about the people. And the book was fascinating. I didn't finish the whole thing. It was very big. But I remember one part in particular, and I could go on and on all day about this stuff in this book. It was amazing. But there's one part in particular that was really fascinating to me. They found that Japanese people, middle-aged people, on their way on the edge of seniority in life, senior age years in life, they prematurely aged. This is from the book. They said that they took on the mannerisms and the behavior, the mannerisms, and the characteristics of speech of the elderly, the stereotypical characteristics of speech of the elderly at an early age. And the study, earlier than would be expected, their bodies were still in pretty good shape, but they began acting feeble and old and speaking in the tones that are expected of the elderly, just like that woman I was talking about. She's very, very ganky in terms of activity. I see her everywhere. Up in the mountains even when I'm hiking, sometimes I see her up there. So the study went on to speculate, why is that? Why are people acting old at a seemingly early age? And the conclusion that this study came to was that acting old in Japan, life's hard in Japan, especially back then. These farming communities. I mean, life is really, really hard. You're up from early in the morning until the family goes to sleep at night, and it's busy, busy, busy. And they conclude, except for the old people. The old people are kind of given a little, they're still busy, but not as busy as the younger middle-aged adults. The old people can take it a little easier. They can go and sit in front of the genkan here, and in front of the porch. Well, you don't have one there, but there's usually a porch in front of the main part of the house. They can sit there in the sun if they like. In fact, a lot of these old houses have chairs specifically set out for the old people just to sit in the sun. They can putter around and sweep the front of the house and take care of, I'm trying to find a house that has one of those porches. They can take care of the animals and work a little bit in the kitchen. They don't have to work as hard. And the conclusion was that by taking on the mannerisms, the characteristics, the appearance, and the way of speaking of the elderly, that this was a way that people who were pretty much done, with the hard work of their life, wanting to end that, could get out of it and enter the club of the senior citizen and be excused from a lot of that hard labor. And so an explanation was offered as to why they began talking like that. A lot of these characteristic ways of speaking, and all cultures have characteristic ways of speaking for different ages, and very distinct ones here in Japan. Now, I don't know if the study was true. It was a very interesting international study, not just these countries. Japan was involved as well. These are the conclusions they came to. Who knows? So next time you see an old woman in Japan, oh, check these out. Look at these mini oranges. What are those called? Like kumquats? Something like that. Next time you see an old person in Japan going, Ohayo gozaimasu. Maybe there's more to it than just this way of speaking. Take care, guys. Have a great day.